Hey everyone, as you can see, you got new computers over the summer. Here are a few things about your new computers. First thing is, there is no tower. The computer itself is on the back of your monitor. It's attached to the stand. So to turn on your computer, you press the power button on the top of that computer right there. The power button for the monitor itself is on the bottom right corner. There are some additional USB ports. If all of the USB ports on your computer are being used, there are actually some more on your monitor. There are two kind of underneath this front left side, and in the elementary, you guys have two additional USB ports on the back of your keyboard. High school folks got wireless keyboards because they were shipped by mistake. So great, you got wireless, but you're missing out on some USB ports. So win some, you lose some. They are fully adjustable. So if you're a little shorter, you can move it down. If you're a Dale Henrich, you can move it way up. It will tilt forward and back, and it can swivel that way so you can access your USB ports. It does take a little, you kind of got to push it, so don't be afraid to put some muscle into it. So as we've been talking about for quite a while now, we are logging in with Google, and most of you guys have your laptops already set to log in with Google, so it shouldn't be anything new. If this is new, it's nothing crazy, it's pretty straightforward. Gone are the days of the first name dot last name login. It's all through Google. So you click add account, click your arrow, and then you type in your school Google credentials. I have a generic account that we're using. And the first time you log in, it'll take a little bit. It will also prompt you for that two-factor authentication, so make sure you have your phone handy. So once you get that code typed in, or you hit accept on your app, go ahead and hit agree, and then the computer will just go through the rest of its login process. When you're at this screen, you can actually just turn these all off. Click next. We don't need them to have any more info than they already have on us. And one of the bigger differences will be we're moving from Windows 10, which is end of life, to Windows 11. You won't notice anything majorly different. Maybe a few little icons and things might look slightly different, but all in all, it's the same sort of computer. One of the things you're going to notice if you are hooked up to a smartboard, if your desktop computer is hooked up to a smartboard, by default, it's going to extend your screen. So meaning that I have what's happening on one screen is not also happening on the other screen. I can drag between the two screens here. If you want yours to be duplicated, you hit the Windows key. It's a little just to the left of the space bar. It looks like the Windows icon, the Windows key and the letter P, and then switch it to duplicate. And now what's happening on one screen is also happening on the other screen. Okay? So once you're logged in, the very first thing I want you to do is to set Google Chrome as your default web browser. So go to the bottom, type in the word default, click on the default apps, and look down until you see Google Chrome. Up on the top right, you're going to click the set as default. Now we're going to go ahead and open Google Chrome. And you can ignore this first window that pops up. Actually click the X and close out of that. Now Chrome opens up, and now you want to go ahead and click continue and accept on all of these items. If this mobility print thing pops up, you can just click the X on that. Click yes, I'm in to bring over all your bookmarks, extensions, any of your autofill items. This enhanced privacy thing, you can just click got it on there. And now you'll be logged into your account. If you had bookmarks, you'll see your bookmarks across the top. This generic testing Tiger Woods account does not have any of that. So now I have Chrome set as my default, and I am done with Chrome. The next thing I'd like you guys to do is to open up your Google Drive for desktop. So just like we've been talking about for a few years now, is nothing now is stored on our computers. It's all stored in Google. So hopefully you have done that. I've been saying it for years, and the time has come. So here we are. So to get to Google Drive for the very first time, you just type in Drive. You go down to your Start menu and type in Drive, and you're going to go ahead and launch the Google Drive app. Go ahead and click the Get Started. Click Sign In. Click on your account. Click Sign In again, and you're done. Now we'll go back over to Google Drive. It'll ask you a few questions. Click Next. Click Next. And I don't recommend syncing into these, maybe your downloads folder. And the only reason is because we have a desktop and a laptop. And so if you're syncing your documents and your desktop and your downloads from two computers into your Google Drive, it's probably going to get a little yucky looking. So I would recommend skipping it. If anything, maybe do your downloads, but I'm going to go ahead and recommend that we just skip that. Click Got It. We can skip this, same thing for your pictures and videos. And then we'll go ahead and open Drive. So now Google Drive is here. Just like I said, for most of us, we've been doing this for a long time, so it's nothing new. Google Drive is here. My Drive, there's no files in this account, but any files or folders would be in there, and then any shared drives would be in there. Again, this is just a test account, so there's nothing in any of those. So it's critically important that from now on, you save everything in Google Drive. If you save a document and it's out on your desktop, it only exists on this computer. If something were to happen to this computer, that file or those files are gone. So save something, go to Drive, My Drive, and save it in there, and it will be safe. The next thing I want to talk about is printing. So printing is slightly different this year, but nothing too crazy. So when you're in Chrome, the best way to print, the fastest way, the easiest way to print is in Chrome. So whenever possible, print things in Chrome. Even if it's not a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, if it's a PDF or something and it's in your drive, use Chrome to open it and print through Chrome. It's just going to be the easiest and most reliable way to print. So to print, just press the Control-P print button. And the first time you do this, you're not going to see any printers listed. So click on the See More, and then ignore these top options. We're going to work on clearing those out. We're going to be looking for printers that have the orange icon next to it. These are all of the printers that you guys have access to in our building. So find the one that's closest to you. They should be pretty clearly labeled, hopefully. So for me, I have this Pod 1C is pretty close to me. If I want to print this document from here, I have that printer selected. And then when I hit print, I'm going to be asked to log in. And you're only going to be asked to log in the very first time you print to that printer. So if I click print, I can click this sign in with Google button and then make sure that remember me is ticked so that it's going to always authenticate with that. So that's why it's important to follow these steps, logging into Google first and then going on that way. So find the printers that you need and print that way. New for this year is printing to the copiers. So we have a brand new color copier in both the high school media center and in the elementary workroom, the right copier in the elementary workroom. So to print to either of those copiers, you're going to print to what's called the hold at printers. So think of it as sending your print job up into the cloud to be released at the copier when you have the time to release the job. So to do that, I click print or Control-P on my computer. I click on See More, and then down with the orange icon, I find the one that is to hold at. It's going to be held at the printer until I can go and get it. So hold at printer, click print, and it's going to be asked to sign in again. The first time you print to a new printer, it's going to ask me to sign in. Go ahead and click the sign in with Google button. So now, how do I go release that job? Well, you walk to the printer and you log in. You can log in two ways. you can grab your key fob and hit the enter ID and then scan your key fob, or you can just enter in your employee ID. So the number that you use when you log into the Smarter system to check your pay stub or to order something. It's a 4-digit number that most of us should know. If you don't know, just look at your Smarter username. It's super easy. So then you'll go to that copier where you sent your job. Okay, so here I am at the copier. If this is black, you just tap it, it'll wake up. If you're gonna use your 4-digit code, you would just press the ID number and then enter in your 4-digit code there. If you're gonna scan your badge, you just walk up to it, scan it, and it logs you in. And you can see I have some jobs in there. I've been messing around with some stuff, but let's say I just wanted this top one. I can just check it and then click the little print button down in the bottom right corner, and it will start printing automatically. On the high school one, you'll log out pretty quick. We're doing that because students use it, and we didn't want it to stay logged in as a student for very long. So it's like, if you're not doing something with this for, I think it's 5 seconds, it'll go back to the home screen. So my apologies if that's annoying. So do your work quickly. Here in the elementary, since no students can access this, it doesn't time out as quickly. When you're done, in the top right, you click the little sign out button and it brings you back to the home screen, and away you go. That's pretty much it for printing. If you do need to print from an application other than Chrome, like if you're in Adobe or Word or Excel or using some of those other programs, Bob or I will have to come around and install a little piece of software on your computer to do that. So if that's something you're going to need, go ahead and let us know, and we will we'll come and add those for you. So that's pretty much it for printing and for all things Google. A few settings, like this taskbar you notice is in the center. We've been used to it over on the left for pretty much ever. If you want to change that, you can just right click on the taskbar, click taskbar settings, and then go down to this where it says taskbar behaviors, and then taskbar alignment by default is center. We can go ahead and scooch that over to the left. That'd probably be the biggest difference from Windows 10 to 11. And if there's any items that you don't want down here to keep it clean, you can right click and unpin. We don't need Outlook, we don't need the Microsoft Store, we don't need Edge, we don't need Copilot. Totally up to you. If you want to add a nice picture of your family as your background, go for it. If you want to add the Tiger logos, whatever you feel, go right ahead. As always, if you have any questions or if things aren't working correctly, go ahead and reach out to us and we would be glad to help you. Have a great year.